Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the TikTok Trend Radar. As you probably already know, my name is Jenna, and we are going to dive into the top trending TikToks of this week that you can remake and you can get the same views that they brought in. So let's get right into it. Here we go. The first one I saw this week, I'm calling it I Hear the Saxophones Get Louder. It amassed to, I think, 85 million views in just the 3 videos that I saw, and now I'm starting to see it more and more every single day. People are catching on, and so you should post now. Essentially, this audio is saxophones getting louder, thus the name. But the purpose of it is to create suspense. You are in a situation where things are about to get very bad, but your audience doesn't know that yet. So you are creating suspense, and then you're gonna reveal what actually happened. The first one I saw of this was, POV, you go to the emergency room for food poisoning and they say they need to switch rooms. And then the saxophones are getting louder and she ends up finding out that she had a cryptic pregnancy with twins. So that's crazy. That one was a little too real and definitely got fear out of people, which is why it went so viral. But you can also make this really funny. For example, someone said how people run in horror movies, and he's doing the stereotypical like running like this, and then he falls or he like trips, and then the camera's getting closer to him, kind of implying that the killer is about to get him. And then he says, versus how I would run in horror movies, and he tries to jump over a fence and he ends up falling, and basically he would have gotten caught anyway. So that's a way that you can use the saxophone getting louder audio and trend, but make it funny. The best way for you to take in this trend is to fit it to your niche and fit it to your life. What is something that actually happened to you that turned out really bad? Maybe in the end, it might have even turned out good. I'm sure that cryptic pregnancy ended up with twins and it ended up fine. But in that moment, what were you feeling? That is the suspense that you should share with your audience. I remember seeing another one that said, I should have known he was cheating because his car kept getting broken into. And she was just showing a collage of this guy's car getting broken into many times with glass broken everywhere. And then she finally added up that he was cheating and that girl was breaking into his car. And the saxophones were getting louder and louder. This trend seems fairly new and I'm really excited to see more from this trend. So get on to posting that one ASAP. The second trend I want to talk about today, I'm calling Remembering the Time I... This trend is built around just a hook that's saying, remembering the time I, and then inserting something that happened in your life, or maybe an era of your life that you are no longer in. Now, the first one I saw on this was actually pretty funny. It was a girl who was trying to switch her pants around, like she had them on backwards and she tried to like take them off and put them back on really quickly, hoping nobody would notice. And she ended up falling backwards because her chair fell out from under her while she was doing it. And she just said, me remembering that one time I wore my sweats backwards, so I tried to change it really quickly without anyone noticing. She put that to the audio House by Charlie XCX, the one that's like, I think I'm gonna die in this house, which of course is, when it's used satirically, is really funny. Another funny one I saw was a girl, just the hook was just her face, and she said, remembering the time my aunt forgot she was texting in the family group chat, and then after that it was a still image of her aunt saying, so-and-so looks fat. Another very relatable problem that we have as family units. And then I saw a really serious one that actually utilized this trend, and it was just a video of the sun rising and the person was in a car with 2 other people, and it was something like, me when I remember the era of my life when I was out with my friends partying every night until 7 a.m. And a lot of the comments were kind of sad. Some of them were like, I'm glad I'm out of that phase. That was my most depressive phase. Some people were like, I miss my best friend. Maybe they're not friends with that person anymore, or maybe they're with a person who's no longer with us today. And that audio was just a song with piano over it. So you can really use any audio for this trend as long as the hook starts with me remembering the time I, and then insert event here. This one is pretty easy. Every single video that I've seen to this has been less than 10 seconds, so if you have a video that is either funny or maybe like a romanticized version of your life, this is the trend you're gonna wanna use that for. And the last trend that we're gonna talk about this week, I'm calling Top 5 Horror Movies. This, for the most part, I've seen just a still image, one still image, not even a carousel, and it just says, my top 5 horror movies, and then there's a list of 5 things, numbered, but they're not movies, they are things that are equally as scary. So, for example, some of them are The Old Me, or That One Guy, or even a specific date, or maybe a year. I know for me, if I was gonna make this trend, I think March of 2020 would be #1 on the list. And again, this can be funny. You can make this funny, but I've seen a lot of people make this one serious. I think actually more serious than funny, which is unusual for TikTok. And for some people, it's really personal. Some people have just been putting specific dates, and maybe some people relate, like, oh yeah, 2024 was awful for me too. Or maybe people don't know, but I think that's the beauty of it. And I think that's what makes people want to remake it. They want to use your audio and remake it. The audio is from The One That Got Away by Katy Perry. It is edited to have a chorus and a verse laid over each other, which actually makes it sound really epic and really romanticized. And I think if you're having a serious week, or you want to share some serious things that actually happened to you, or maybe you want to leave them mysterious, that's okay too. This is the trend for you this week. So far, this audio has 814.9 thousand videos, so now's the time to jump on it. And that is it for this week on the TikTok Trend Radar. I hope you get to remake some of these videos, and I hope you go just as viral as these 85 million view videos are getting. Until next week, my name is Jenna, and best of luck with your videos. Bye!